My name is Gardy. It is just after 9 o'clock, and this is going to be a fun hour of health, nutrition, and learning about stuff that I have no idea what's going on. I've had a little peek at
That's why we
the
double
notes.
teamed you.
You know, I don't know. I may let you lead this because you know more. But we got Jennifer with you in studio. Jennifer, how you doing?
I am fantastic today. I had a stellar time yesterday morning at the office playing under the Zerona laser. We're going to talk about that today, and been taking all my lymphatic supplements, and since that's the topic, that's what we're gonna talk about.
Okay, so the Zerona laser, is this the corona cure? The Zerona for the corona, and you're good to go?
Well, there's that.
There is that, Gardy. There is
that. I don't think we're allowed to.
Yeah, you're not allowed to speculate
we're
or
not
anything.
allowed to
That's right.
speculate
But I like where
on
your
that.
mind is going. I like where your mind is going.
However, I would say this. A lot of the problems that people have with corona, the people that are having a harder time with it are people that are nutrient deficient, that are obese, that are having extra, they already have health problems. So I would say that it would make a difference for being able to tackle that coronavirus.
And then I would also complement that statement, Ms. Withy, in the fact that these people that are already nutritionally deficient, they're also toxic. They're full of junk. Their body is, by definition, a toxin is just anything your body can't use, is full of these contaminants from every which way to Sunday, from our food, from the air, from our waters. And what's happening is our body over time is accumulating waste and further compounding the nutritional deficiency, because for every mineral or toxin that we have in our body, we lose 2 to 3 minerals. And I think that, to your point, like we got a twofold problem, don't we?
Absolutely. We're always dealing with the toxins in the environment. And that's one thing, we're in week 3 of our 21-day detox. And week 3 here, we're like all kind of getting excited to get to the other end of the detox. But
I don't know, man. I'm having kind of fun.
I'll say time flies when you're having fun. It's already almost over. It's kind of sad.
I mean, yeah.
Y'all are sad?
Well, I mean, it went by really quick.
Well, I'm not planning actually to quit.
You're going to keep going?
I mean, I don't know what kind of.
She's kind of like, her and I are always in a head-to-head race. And so it's who quits first. And we're pretty bullheaded, aren't we? When it comes to like showing our patients the way. We want them to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we aren't going to ask them to do anything that we're not willing to do. And, it's interesting. We've seen this year alone a really strong, it's taken us about 2 years to really embed the culture. It's taken me, 40 detoxes over the last 16 years to have a culture. And now, God, I felt like the old story is when one crazy guy is out there doing something nuts, he's nuts.
He's just one crazy guy.
But what happens when there's two?
You got a crazy crew, I suppose. You got a group.
That's right.
Teamwork.
And then all of a sudden, the Bible talks about it, that one can put 1,000 to flight and 2 can put 10,000 to flight. And all those theologians out there, don't chastise me. I know it's out of context. And but I just want to say, I do believe in the power of association. I do believe in the power of, shared goals build unity. And, God put Jennifer, in my path, and her and I have just been, making the whirlpool of health and wellness into what we call the vortex. And we will lift you out of the funk, the filth, the mire that you're in, if you will, and we'll help you, get stronger, be more educated, understand why your body's breaking down. And at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we just believe in education. And education's a key on a key ring. The more you get, the more doors you can open. And I used to believe, my dad taught me that, I used to believe that was a, accolades, paid, institutionalized, diplomas and degrees, right? But what I've come to realize, it's not, an accolade that I buy. It's the love of learning.
Oh, absolutely. I love learning. I think that as much as we're in a race to see who can detox more, who can do more programs, who can take more supplements, although I don't think I'll ever win, but
I was gonna ask that.
I mean, it's just not like.
He's like 40 deep. How many are you at?
I'm at like 5 or 6.
I mean, so look,
you're at 5 or
7.
6.
I'm
at 4.
I know. We'll see. That's the thing.
I can catch you.
We got to bump it up.
Me, so that's the thing. So,
but this is what I was
here's
gonna...
the deal, though. the detox isn't that different from my normal diet anymore. So it's almost hard to describe when I'm on detox, when I'm not on detox.
It's the
That's right.
pills.
Yeah.
The
It's
supplements.
It's the supplements and the
It's
shake.
the supplements. Well, if the supplements are it, then I'm on detox 365 days a year because
Okay, then she has you beat.
seriously. So no, I don't. Have you ever seen his pill bag? Like,
I mean, so
it's
I-
not-
like,
if
right now I have a simple bottle of Bilivin. It looks like a simple body of Bilivin on the outside, which Bilivin, by the way, is a fantastic gallbladder remedy. It does
he's
support
probably got
lymphatics.
it full of all of his.
It's got
supplements.
artichoke and turmeric and cilantro and burdock and organic. I mean, this is good
Ooh.
stuff. Well, there's only 5 left. So I
Put
was
that
like,
in some olive oil and saute it, and you're good to go.
I mean, look, if you open it up, all of a sudden different pills start falling
What?
out. This is like
How?
Willy
I knew
Wonka's.
it. I knew
This
it.
is like
I-
Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or Mary Poppins duffel bag.
You think
There's
I was
all kinds
told
of
these
amazing in
things.
these. in it. This is another little secret.
His
You know,
pill bag is so big that he doesn't fit in a bag anymore. He's
I gotta start
have
putting
a
the bottles.
he has a tackle box.
It's got you know.
No,
Usually
no, no.
carries
The
a tackle.
tackle box doesn't hold our supplements anymore.
Yeah, we've graduated.
So do you put all of your
Ziploc
daily like
baggies.
this is your morning? Like it's the morning and it's just everything in there and you're good to go in a
there's-
bottle.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
I mean, that's how we recycle at Living Well.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Reusable and educational. I mean, I was able to re-educate people on how powerful Bilivin is. But what I know we're going around the train here, but what I was going to say is we've built this culture now, and I've seen it this year more than ever, where there's people that are detoxing, even when we're not detoxing. When we're not promoting it, people go, my husband and I, we got 21 days off. We decided we're going to come do your detox.
Right.
And that just fires me up, guys, like that y'all are getting it. And because it really and truly, you don't get it, what you're getting. What you're getting is the lifestyle principles that we teach in our wellness 5 steps to health. When you're at that stage where the healthy habits become natural to you now, that is when you start having a whole lot of fun with this. And you start realizing, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be on point, 365 days a year. You can live by the 80-20 rule. You can live by the 90-10 rule, where you're on, 80 or 90% of the time, and then you're off 20 or 10% of the time. You can enjoy a little bit, like what I've talked about, last month. It's okay doing 36 good quality meals and then having a 37th cheat meal. You know what I mean? Number 37 is a cheat.
As long as you're listening, right? Though, as long as you're listening to your body. Because I had a gal email me last night, and she says, beef's a no-go. I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, I'm glad you've taken the time, because
To recognize it.
I put her on a 10-day detox. And when she was emailing me questions, it was my 10 days of suffering. And I was like, uh-oh, what happened over her 10 days? She was like anticipating the 10 days of suffering. But the exciting thing, I was like,
coming.
I was like, oh no, what happened over the last 10 days? What did I do? And it turns out she was just worried about it. Anyway, she says, red meat's a no-go. Had she not taken the time to get those 10 days under her belt, she'd never understood that that's what the problem was. And she says, I think I can do gluten sometimes. And I said, yeah, so let's do it sometimes, but let's be picky about it. Don't eat the junky wheat. Like when you eat wheat, like go get some homemade bread. Like don't eat the junk. Like don't waste your cheap meal on the
junk.
bakery, on the
Something
processed cookies.
Quality.
Like go get something good. If you're gonna cheat, if you're gonna put your body under that much stress and ask it to do more work, make it worthwhile.
I went to Smoothie King yesterday, and I don't know if that's frowned upon in the Living Well world or not.
Yeah, main squeeze all the way, dude.
Well, I understand that, but I was at 646.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
it's
so
Bay Area, dude.
I had to go to the bank.
The question
and
is,
there was
the
a-
question is, what did you do while you were there?
Well, I looked
yeah,
in.
we're scared. We're scared.
I looked in the refrigerator. I didn't even open it, but there was it said zucchini bread, and it was it was a prepackaged thing, and it looked like the shape of a cookie.
No.
I don't know anything about it, but I was like, I'm pretty sure this sounds like it would be good, but it may be marketing. I didn't even pick it up, but it looked like a cookie, and I was like, cookies are good.
Well, you should have
Zucchini
picked
should
it up
be
and
good,
taken
right?
a picture. Would have been a fun thing to
Oh,
talk
man.
about, because here's the reality is
It's the ingredients.
it's
right?
the ingredients, and there's nobody that can make a Dr. Chapa friendly zucchini bread than this gal right here.
Ah,
And
okay.
she's got a recipe that'll rattle your taste buds.
It's not my recipe though, so I don't do
But
anything.
not-
on
well,
my
it's
own.
all-
It's
nothing
Smoothie
news
Kings.
under.
It's- you got it from Smoothie King.
Whatever.
No. But no, you guys should write that down. It's Elena's Pantry. That is where I get that chocolate zucchini bread. And
Okay.
even people that won't eat the way I eat,
they'll
asked
eat
for
this.
that. They asked for it, right? They
Yeah.
also, being that it's September and it's pumpkin season, there's an awesome pumpkin bread that she has, and it's grain-free, dairy-free.
I think you're
So
torturing all the week 3 detox fanatics.
This is why we're going to actually move on.
Okay.
Having a pumpkin
And-
party after.
And have our little pumpkin party. But if people want to know, like, what are we going to do next, right? Like, as we are here, like, as much as it's like we've had people say, can I just live on this? And we go, yeah.
You can. We've
But
tried
We've tried that, and it
tried
works.
and proved.
Chapa, this is how you got so far ahead of me. How many detoxes did you do in a row?
Like,
How many 21-day segments?
It was like 4 or 5 where I went 21 days, 10 days off, 21 days, 9 days off, 21 days, 9 days.
Wow.
Just to see how much the body could tolerate, and I found that the body will find a rhythm, and it's just a chemical factory. And so before we move on, we should probably, let everybody know Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center does indeed believe in education. This will be our third or fourth, or the third outward class, one different class that we teach in-house, and then our own private, and then we had our own private seminar at the office with me, you, and Molly, where we were studying some different nutritional ideas from a couple guys up in Nebraska or wherever he's from. And man, we've just been loaded with education, and so we are armed and ready tonight, 6:30 p.m. through our Zoom call and live event at our office in League City. It's 815 East Main Street. Give us a phone call, 281-554-8600. We're going to be having a live class tonight and a Zoom class for those that might not be able to make it in person. And we want to invite you to Life After Detox. We're going to be talking about some key things going on in today's world that you don't want to miss with respect to stress and the importance of taking the bull by the horns. And we're going to be also kicking off, the 20-minute laser challenge with the Z6. So, we'll be raffling off a few of those, and we'll have some fun going through that process. And everybody that comes gets an AF Beta Food giveaway for the attendees in-house. It's a small bottle of AF Beta Food. And AF Beta Food is Dr. Chapa's favorite product. Why? Because it's loaded with beets. It's loaded with the stuff that helps your bile production factory from your liver produce more bile. And it emulsifies the junk that's built up, stacked up, and stuck in your gallbladder so that you can digest better. And you're only as good as the food that you what?
You eat.
Well, let's take it a
Digest.
step further. You're only as good as the food you absorb, right? And so if the bile isn't there to help you absorb it, or if you've got stuff caked up in the lines and we can't absorb it through that square footage, then yeah, we're only as good as the food we eat. But if we can't digest it, like you said, and then absorb it, that's even worse. And so this product, AF Beta Food, I still today was telling a patient yesterday, when I stop taking 15 a day, I'll send out a mass email because I believe that everybody needs liver support. That's why we're such detox fanatics at Living Well, because your liver is the giver. The better you take care of that chemical factory, the better your body will thrive in a world that is full of toxins and is devoid of nutrients.
So tonight, 6:30
PM.
at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, 815 East Main Street. You can attend. Go to justlivewell.com. You can find out more about Dr. Chapa's office. Also, give him a call, 281-554-8600 to learn more.
You'll wanna actually look at our Facebook page to get the links to the Zoom call,
Okay.
or the address or whatever. So
And then you can watch from anywhere in the world.
anywhere in the world, and which that's kind of been, we love our in-person classes. We absolutely love being with people and being able to share with them, and we have a lot of good conversations before and after that you don't get on the Zoom call. But we've figured out that we've got people, that are an hour and a half away, 2 hours away, 3 hours away. Austin,
That are
we have
tuning
some
in
that are,
in
out of
Washington.
state even that are
Yeah.
tuning in, and that has opened up something to us to realize that
People are
if
hungry.
we're going to share our message, and there's an outlet for us to reach more than just the people that can make it on a Tuesday night, we have a tool now. And so, if there's one thing we can say about having to go to Zoom, it at least showed us that we have people out there that are hungry for the knowledge, just can't get to our office. And that's awesome that we can share with them now too.
It's kind of like
All
what Gardy was saying earlier. It's all about perspective, man. You just never know. So perspective is everything. Well, so we're talking about lymphatics. You know, the lymphatic system is such an important system in our body that is underutilized, maximized, and definitely, people don't really appreciate what it's really doing. A lot of what life in our body is we don't appreciate what's actually happening. Because we can't see the gears turning. We can't see the electrical synaptic activities firing at trillions of, synapses a second. And it's just amazing how intricately we have been put together by God Almighty. And I'm just, I'm always blown away. And in the lymphatic system, it's a clear fluid, made from blood plasma. And unlike your cardiovascular system, which is all pump driven, there requires a manual push whenever we're talking about the lymphatic system. The manual push is, guess what? You.
Movement. Yeah.
If the dude don't move, the dude don't groove.
Absolutely. That's our motto, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of those things to think about is, God was so smart that even breathing pushes the lymphatic system, but it doesn't push it fast enough. You're going to fall behind. You're going to keep falling behind. So this is why when people get stuck, bedridden, sick, their lymphatic system starts to slow down more and more and more. And we've got to push it.
And people get
somehow.
sicker. That's when they're more vulnerable. And I think that's why hospital-acquired infections are such a high rate of contagiousness or passing it around.
If you could put, where is the lymphatic system?
Great question, Gardy. So you want to answer that, Withy?
Where is it not?
Ha! Beautiful.
Where is it not?
Well stated.
It runs really parallel to your blood vessels. So anywhere that your blood is flowing, you're going to have your lymphatic system flowing right side by side.
And you could even just take it a step further, just to be more scientific, because the reality is, simply put, where is it not?
Okay.
It is everywhere. But your thymus gland lives behind your sternum, your bone marrow deep inside those bones, your spleen, your tonsils, your appendix, your mucosal membranes that line pretty much every organ in the body are all part of your lymph system. And let's not forget this lymph node, that are all throughout the vessels. And I kind of look at them like, checkpoints along the path. And what's inside of these checkpoints are immune cells that have the ability to assess whether or not this is a foreign invader or if this has got a green light to pass, and according to what is necessarily going on with that particular pathogen that is trying to sneak past that checkpoint, will either get checked and eaten alive by a macrophage or some other aspect of our amazingly designed immune system, it'll go on through. But the lymphatic system is a conglomeration of systems that come together. And again, we would probably classify it a level up, kind of like we do with the immune system. Is it's not really an immune system per se, like you have a heart and you have vessels. It's more of an alliance, a numerous amount of bodies coming together for one mission and goal: to pull up the wall, the hedge of protection, to open up the shield, and to get our swords sharp and ready, so that when we got to go to battle, we go to battle. And that's one of the cool things about the lymphatics, as well as our immunity. So, great question.
Okay, so, we know where it is and I guess what it is, I suppose. I still don't know if I fully understand.
The only time you actually hear about it in, just layperson knowledge is when people, check those glands underneath your throat, right? The doctor comes in, checks those glands. They swell up. That's a very common place that they'll swell, is these lymph nodes up here in your throat. And so that's the only time that we commonly think about the lymphatic system.
And what's really interesting too, because people don't know what it is. It's such an important system that without it, you'd be dead inside of a day.
Right. So that's that whole idea of that pump, right? We've got to keep it moving. And the idea is that if it's not moving, you're not able to get rid of the trash in the system. The whole lymphatic system is taking the trash out. It's kind of it's right next to Dr. Chapa's favorite system. The
liver,
no,
The digestive.
digestive. Oh, okay.
He brings people in. All we're going to talk about is poop. I'm not sure why. Why haven't you had a class on poop? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe next week. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's
Molly,
your
you hear that?
primary. That's your primary exit channel, but we forget about the lymphatic system because that's really what's cleaning out the blood, cleaning out all the pathogens that are flowing that your body's trying to get through. So your liver makes these decisions, and what's going to go to the blood flow to get nutrients to the body, what's going into the lymphatic system to get things out of the body.
And right now, people are sitting around behind their desks, trapped in their homes, still isolated, and doing very little in the form of activity. Not enough by any stretch. And what's happening is that lymphatic system, it's stimulated through movement. So dry brushing is a great tool if you got nothing. A massager is a great tool if you've got nothing. Getting up and jostling, move around, jump around, just like that song. Jump,
Just wiggle it out, right?
Yeah, you've got to
Shake the
stay
Phillies out.
active and go for a walk. A brisk 20-minute walk in the morning and a brisk 20-minute walk in the evening could do your body some amazing good. And they've done enough research around activity that we can't let that idly not be conversated about. Like, we've got to get grooving and get moving, especially when it comes to the lymphatics. But even more important than that, what are people not drinking enough of day in and day out?
Water.
I was going to say water.
Yeah, and that's one of your pumps for your lymphatic system. So
Breathing, water, just a natural.
all those things. So drinking your water. So you want to prime that pump. Drink your 16 ounces of water in the first 10 minutes you wake up. You'll see changes just doing that. It'll set the tone for the day of needing the water, getting the water in, and not falling behind the way most of us fall behind. We're usually like, oh, a sip of water here, a sip of water there. We're going to spend an hour talking. We're not drinking our water right now. So we got to keep
Well,
talking.
I don't know.
Chop
So,
it
like,
well.
speak for yourselves. He brought your big. We talked a little bit
course he
about
does.
water
Of course he
last
does.
week, I think.
It's a mind game with
It's a part
him.
of the Facebook fun. They see me over here sucking down water out of this big silver canteen. They're like, "What's in that thing?"
So, are there any other ways? So, we got water. You said just moving around, breathing. What are some other way? Are there other ways to get it moving?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have created our office because several years ago we had this idea that if we had the ability to reach inside the body and to take out your lymphatics and pop them like a dirty rug and then put them back in, that a person that was sick would immediately, within 5 to 10 minutes, begin to feel like they walked out of a cloud. They would literally feel like they did 25 years ago. The lymphatics are such an important system to be working on. We have been looking for ways to activate it. We activate that system by building spleen programs. The spleen is a key ingredient in working with your lymphatic system. And, the spleen is made up of red pulp and white pulp, and inside the red pulp is these macrophages that have these, they're like little defense organisms that can go out and destroy the invaders, the pathogens, those things which we can't, that are against us being the best version of ourselves. The spleen has this cool ability to remove bacteria and to decipher. Red blood cell, you look like you've aged a little bit, and not so much in a good way. I'm going to retire you. And so the spleen has this ability to nicely retire the old and bring in the new. And then the white pulp is made up of these lymphocytes, and they activate what we call the innate and or the adaptive immunity. And when these T cells and B cells are active, your body is more attuned and more alert to being able to see, who its invader is. And because we're constantly overhauling it, and we'll talk about some of that, I think, in a moment. If not, I'll just kind of drop a couple bombs right now. We do that through a product that we love called scolopendrium or spleen PMG, where we have the ability to lift the spleen up and to cleanse it, just like we're cleaning out the liver and giving it a little bit of a turnaround, a overhaul, a reboot. And we want to take care of every system in our body. And this is in our life repair cycle when we're doing our 5 steps to health at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. And what we're doing is we're doing systematized detox or cleansing approaches to make sure that we maximize the individual systems that make up the overall alliance army weaponry that your body needs to activate longevity genes, activate vitality genes, and deactivate the pathogenic processes that are constantly coming at you. And then we're supporting that system through healthy movement, through healthy attitudes, through water intake, healthy food. We're decreasing the inflammatory. We're asking ourselves, you know what is it? I mean, I hate to say, but like, in some respects, I don't even want to go out to eat that much anymore because they use vegetable oil, they use canola oil, they use MSG, they use what we call the 4 deadly food additives, and those 4 deadly food additives, whether you're what.
So the 4 deadly food additives, MSG, which the thing about MSG, everybody kind of knows to avoid MSG, but it has so many different names.
Secret
That's
names.
the problems. And they change the names on us all the time. So your MSG, you want to avoid your MSG. If you're at a fast food restaurant, you can rest assured that they are using... Good grief, you're distracting over there.
He's juggling. He's juggling. If
He's
you're
juggling.
if you're
He's
listening on the radio,
moving the
Chapa's-
lymphatics.
He's juggling supplements.
Right,
moving
right.
around.
Lymphatics. And so, people... we just don't realize that we're getting that. So anything you're getting processed food tastes like cardboard. So they add MSG so it tastes like something. So it's very highly addictive, and you eat lots of them. So that's how McDonald's gets you to buy the big fries, right? Because they're MSG. The MSG is addicting, and your body wants more and more and more until your body says, I can't have any more, which is what my body did. I can't have any more. 3 McDonald's French fries, migraine for 3 days. Like, that's not okay.
And is that, and some
not
people,
okay.
and that's the sad thing is some people have no clue that it's the 3 French fries. Right?
They blame it on something else.
They blame it on something else.
Because
That's my hormones, or I had a
their
bad
hormones,
day.
or they're hungry, right? So the next day, the headache's still not gone, and I'm starving, but my head hurts. I can't cook. I can't cook. So where do I go? Back to the fast food, and you go get another dose, and you can't get rid of it. And people think these headaches are normal. Oh, I always have this kind of underlying headache. Well, no, it could be something you're eating. So, and it may not be. Some people, literally, it's red meat that causes them to have headaches, or
that would be me, where I'm like, nah, it can't be the red meat.
Yeah,
it can't be. It can't be. It can't be. And right, and so the 4 deadly food
thing that we love so much.
So going back to that is your MSG. So you want to look for those hidden names. One of them that really annoys me is called yeast extract, and you can find yeast extract in organic chicken broths, right? So
how do you know?
How do I know? Because it could be an MSG product, so I'm going to avoid it. And so then you've got your high fructose corn syrup. Where do you find that?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I hate to say.
Everywhere. Which is, but the most commonplace, the thing that we use the most is those soft drinks, right?
That's what I was going to say,
so
soda.
People are going to the fast food restaurant. They put the meals together. They're going to charge you extra for a bottle of water. Like, why should I pay more? I'm just going to go ahead and drink the soda. So they're drinking the soft drinks, and here they are. And then if they don't have just high fructose corn syrup, they also have artificial sweeteners. And so if you're getting the diet soda, you're getting a double whammy. You're going to get the high fructose corn syrup plus the artificial sweeteners. So, and you have to check everywhere for those artificial sweeteners. Everywhere.
Your toothpaste.
Really?
Yeah, gums.
Gum.
If you're smacking on gum right now,
if you're not buying,
you probably got artificial sugars.
Yeah, and if you're not buying supplements for your kids at our office, your vitamins probably have.
My son took
Not
his
probably. I hate to say, do.
EnviroForce Jr. He took his EnviroForce Jr. this morning, and what he has been doing, and I just found this out because he told me today in the car, he's like, I'm sucking on my medicine. Because it tastes good.
Yeah.
It tastes good to him.
Well, because it has a natural sweetener in it. So that's there's that. There's
it's like 30 minutes
sweeteners,
later. Like literally, he was like, what I do is I wait till all of the flavor's gone, and then I eat it.
He's
That's
Dr.
so
Chapa.
funny.
He's Dr. Chapa.
I know. I feel like it could be a
kid.
protege.
He might be his kid. I don't know. But and so, because Dr. Chapa might just use a little EnviroForce Jr. now and then
a little bit.
for the flavor of it.
Yeah, just for the flavor. Well, your lymphatics are directly impacted by the rest of the body. So, another part of that scary 3-day cycle that people have is their circulation system is affected by the quality of their lymphatics. Their digestive system impacts directly the lymphatics' ability to do their job, and then their liver impacts the a lymphatic's ability to do its job. So if you're a person that's a slow oxidizer because you have a dirty, congested liver, or you just have a gene code that expresses things out slowly, then you have to be more aware of what Jennifer's talking about. These 4 deadly food additives are no joke.
And if the people that are counting, we only went through 3. So
What's the 4th?
So it's the partially hydrogenated oils, which are probably the hardest thing on your lymphatic system and your circulatory system and your digestive system. I've seen this over and over and over in the office with people, is that those partially hydrogenated oils, they actually, it's like shards of glass in their digestive system.
So what's an example of those?
Canola oil would be
oil.
one.
Vegetable
oil.
You know what I call canola oil?
Con
oil.
Yes, sir. I think I like how he thinks.
He's your friend.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, after all this time, now you're my friend, Guardian.
You finally made it in. It's only
You're
been
on the
2.5 years.
Yeah.
You're on the team. We can work with this.
I love it. Okay, so we got the 4 deadly food additives.
And those directly affect negatively your lymph system. And again, what we're talking about is, how do we take your lymphatic system out, pop it like a dirty rug, and then put it back in clean as a whistle? And because you can't take it out, like we mentioned earlier, you can't live without your lymphatic system. And you can't take it out while the engine's running. And when's the engine not running?
Hopefully it's always.
It's
We're
always
gonna,
rolling.
We're going to keep this thing running.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you think about it, though, like your house filter on your air conditioner. I mean, how many times have you... All right, so some people have called the AC guy only to find out that you forgot to change your air filters.
Mine just got changed like 2 weeks ago.
Right? And so this is what happened. It slows the system down and slows the system down and slows the system. Nothing's wrong with the AC unit, but the system's running slower and slower and slower. And so now you're getting behind and behind and behind and more behind. And so now that bioaccumulated waste, those toxic buildup. So now we say, you got to have a detox. There's no other way to do it because the engine's running.
That's right. And if your bowels aren't running, I had a lady come in yesterday, and she had so many trigger points in her back and it wasn't even in her muscles. It was on top of the muscles in the fascia. It was even above that in the lymph system, and you could feel these just gigantuan bulbs of poison. And she had back pain galore. They want to do surgery. And this girl's 33 years old, and I'm like, no. I said,
on her back?
Yeah, they want to cut her open and start, working on these herniated discs. Well, I got news for you, folks. Like, everybody has herniated disc and bulges and whatnot. And I've seen 7-millimeter bulges that caused no pain for people, and I've saw herniations that caused no pain for people, and then I've seen a 0.5 millimeter bulge, so it's even less aggressive than a herniation, cause debilitating pain. And so you just never know what you're dealing with in there. And the last thing you really want is to go in there and slap a line in the mouth. And that just doesn't ever sound like a good plan, right? And so the reality is a surgery is like a bad tattoo. I mean, you can't go back. You can't fix what they may or may not fix. And it's very risky business.
You always say what your body can naturally develop, it can undevelop. But whenever you bring surgery into it, that's not a natural occurrence, right?
And in the minute you cut your system open, okay, and this goes with gallbladders, this goes with appendix, this goes with uteruses, this goes with any type of surgery. When the air from the outside hits the surrounding visceral tissue once you're cut open, because you have this shell on top of you called your skin, right? And that skin's kind of important. It regulates your body temperature. Everybody knows that. But it's also a means of exit. You're pushing trash out of your body. And the more hydrated you are, the more effective you are at transmuting stuff that your body can't use through your skin. But your skin's really not that good of a exit strategy. We want to push it out the bowels. But if you open up your system or your chest and the air hits those visceral organ systems, they begin to scar up very quickly. The longer you're open, the worse it is for you. And so, and then what you lose in the process, the worse it is for you. And so, as we're looking at ways to avoid drugs and avoid surgery and teach people a better way, the lymphatic system, it fits inside of what we call going into the winter, because now that the kids are, the flu season's quote unquote going to begin. I'm pretty sure
exciting.
I'm pretty sure coronavirus cured that though. But that's an answer to a different conversation we'll get to. But here we are. We're going to see this massive shift again. And the reality is it comes down to these systems. So you're going to see these kids sitting, for extended periods of time. And they're going to be in high stress states. Maybe they're being bullied. Maybe they're getting, I hate to say, the institutionalized foods that are offered at most of these places, and these are all causing lymphatics to clog up in the neck. You'll see lymph nodes. You'll see sinus trash. You'll see eyes start to allergy up. You'll see ears start to ache and throb, and swelling in the the neck, and headaches and the tension headaches and all that stuff that's building up. Even if you're not a student in a classroom, you could be an adult dealing with these same things when the weather changes. And it's not the weather. I mean, sure, the weather, I think maybe the weather changes what we do, right? It changes what we eat. It changes whether or not we're outdoors as much. I mean, I got in the pool this weekend, and I'm thinking, whoo, it might be one of the last times I've been in this building for a little while, I hate to say. And it was a hot day, but I think we change our lifestyle around the seasons. So it seems the correlation is the season change, but it's really the lifestyle change that just happens to fall in line with the season change.
Don't go outside as much.
We're more stagnant, and then
Yeah.
we eat more, comfort foods. We shift our diets around a little bit seasonally. And or worse, we're just eating the same mucus-forming foods, less stagnant, recipe for disaster. So if the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. So we can go in there and we can take the Congoplex from Living Well. We can take Thymex from Living Well. We can take Spanish black radishes from Living Well. Great trio of a program to open up the high lymph system, everything from the collarbones up, and the spleen. The Spanish black radish has minerals in it that will activate your lymphatics throughout every tissue, cell, organ, gland in your body. And so this is one of my key secrets, that I reach into the system, literally pull it out, reset it, pop it against the brick wall, and put it back into your body. Spanish black radish, take 9 a day.
That's the
standard
Spanish
process.
black radish is one of the reasons why people are constantly asking us, can you just eat your way to good health?
That's right.
Last time you saw Spanish black radish on the grocery store shelf? No. And if you need it, if you are in a deficit position, right? I'm in a deficit position. So, yesterday after I got out from under the Zerona laser, deficit position, the lymphatics need to move faster. I need Spanish black radish every hour, thank you. So I took some not that you have to do that all the time, but in my situation yesterday, knowing I was detoxing, knowing that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to take Spanish black radish every hour. I need to feel better. I want this stuff to move. I don't want the laser to just move the fat around. I want it to escort it out.
That's
and
right.
so the Spanish black radish. So people's like, can't I just eat my way into health? I'm like,
Well,
what's
actually,
your recipe for Spanish black radish so that you can have it available at any time? And my recipe is, it's in a bottle.
That's right. That's right. Because, one, availability. I mean, if you don't have it, you can't use it. And number two,
It doesn't go bad on the shelf.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't go bad. I got plenty of time to enjoy it. And man, I'm just thinking right now, and what a way you can smell the radish in it. I mean, it just makes your heart sing to know now that there's value in the plant. And does it shock us, right, that for the amount of toxins that we're all surrounded by, and we could get mad at whoever produces these things, markets these things, and competes to get us to buy it, but God has the answer right there in the store, and maybe not Spanish black radishes in the store, but I mean it's available in the environment. Typically for every poisonous, venomous, stinging insect or plant that's out there in the wilderness, there's 2 to 3 antidotes in close proximity. And you think that's by coinkydink? No, that's by design. Wow. God Almighty knew that we might accidentally lick the wrong toad. And if that be the case, you got to know how to neutralize that thing. I mean, what if John the Baptist ate the wrong locust? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know that locusts are poisonous, but what if?
Maybe back then. I don't know.
I'm not up on my locust, biology.
There's
but,
probably some good effects from locusts. I mean, why not?
Of course, he survived on it. Locust and honey.
Locust or MSG? Which one are you eating?
Locust. Locust all day.
All day long.
All day. And so,
that was the only way you could have ever got me to admit that I'd eat locust. Like, you just really pushed.
That's pretty good, actually.
He pushed the button. I was like, oh, no, locusts sound pretty doggone good. That MSG, man.
Another way to tap into your lymphatic system is just to make sure that you're going back to this phase 2 detox process, recognizing the conversion of fat-soluble compounds into water-soluble that you can pee out, sweat out, breathe out, poop out are such a vital piece of de-stressing your lymph system, okay? So, I find it interesting. There's been times in the past where I was tired when I got home from work abnormally. You're like, it's 7:30 and I'm like ready to go to sleep. This isn't going to work. And so you go to bed, and then I would wake up literally at 11:30, and I'd have drainage down the back of my throat, and I'd be like, oh no, I don't have time for that. So do I lay there and just hope and pray, or do I go straight to my tools and pray, or giving thanks? Rejoicing always and giving thanks, for this is the will of God through Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-17. And I said to myself, thank you, Lord, for giving me the knowledge to know what to do right now. Thank you, Lord, for giving me not only the knowledge, the ability to go get the resource right out of my cupboard. It's 17 feet away from where I am right now, the answer. My antidote is there, guys. You got a symptom. If you've got the Living Well resource medicine chest behind you, when at 11:30 at night, whenever you're like, oh no, I feel this, instead of going, darn it, they're closed, because we're not 24 hours yet, one day maybe, who knows, and we have trained you on what to do, when to do it, and when in doubt,
Congoplex it out.
Congoplex it out. 555, baby. I mean, last night, I no word of a lie, I got up, I went and chewed 9 Thymex and 10 Congoplex and 9 sesame seed oil, and I was like,
What were you dealing with?
Back in that story.
Okay.
And the next morning, I woke up, and boom, the mucus was gone. Felt great. And I go, is it possible? Okay. Is it possible that the infectious process that was trying to take root was just something stuck in the sewer, or stuck in the liver, or stuck in the lymphatics? And I took my tool chest, and the tool chest biochemistry went and pushed whatever funk was out the way, and the infection didn't have a chance to grip and take root. Is that possible?
I think it's possible.
That's possible.
I think it's possible. And the difference is that what you recognized was an immediate, there must be a nutrient deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I might be getting sick.
That's right.
Right? Like,
don't
I
delay.
hope I'm not getting sick.
Be proactive.
It was so with medication, you have to be
sure
that I'm sick, because I know the side effects, I know the problems. When I start having a symptom and I feel it, I start to go, that's a nutrient deficiency. What could I be dealing with? It could be an infection trying to take root. Oh, let me go jump on that. And, there's other things you could have grabbed. I mean, if you didn't have those things, you could have just gone and grabbed your basic minerals, right? Your basic products, just to give your body some extra support to get through the night till you could get to the morning.
That's
to
right.
get to the office. You have to give yourself something.
And you'll be
to
shocked
hope that nothing will work is
your body will do so much with with even a little.
Right.
A little nutrition goes so far.
Right. So, some people are like, oh, I don't know if I could take 9 or 10, but here's the deal. If you're going to take whatever you're going to take. So I take, I had a situation one time where I had a fever, right? I have this fever. It comes on me quick, and I'm like literally, I'm fine. 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, fever. And I feel this fever coming on, and I start taking my supplements every 20 minutes. And it took 2 hours. 2 hours. Now, what do we normally tell people to take supplements? 3 times a day. right?
And
What
they
did I
wound up
do?
doing it twice a day.
I took my 3 times a day in an hour. I basically shortened the time period and said, okay, I'm going to treat the next hour like a day, and I'm going to feed myself that way and be aggressive. 2 hours later, no fever, no sore throat. It's all gone.
What if you processed an entire infection in 2 hours? Is that possible? Or is it possible that all you had to do is address the nutritional deficiency and your body was able to move the burden out the way, and then whatever burden that you were carrying that was causing those negative symptoms didn't need to be there? Because the fever was just a check engine light that something is awry, that your body temperature as it goes up starts to mobilize a defense. And the hotter you get, so 101 to 103, we call that prime time for killing. And when people freak out in today's modern world, 101, 102, 103, what do they always do? They suppress it. They drop a Tylenol. They drop some
See,
sort.
That's where I'm lucky because I'm allergic to Tylenol and ibuprofen, so I don't have that option anymore.
Praise God for that.
I feel like that was a blessing.
But what happens when people do that? They basically cut the legs out from under their armies. You know, hey army, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take all your weapons away for the next 3 hours. And see how you do.
So what I've done in the past, if I had a fever or something like that, I would take that Tylenol and then just try and go to sleep as fast as I could, and then just sleep, and hopefully I'll wake up in the morning.
And the sleep part is great, right? Because at least your body has a resting chance to go and mount a defense. But the reality is still you sabotage. I don't mean this ugly.
No, you can say it.
Yeah, but you sabotaged the immune system's ability to go do what it's been designed to do, because you chemically altered the effect of your body's awareness, its lymphatic system.
So the opposite, though, is giving the body the nutrients to fight the infection so that it doesn't need to continue with the fever.
So same response.
The fever
comfort.
goes away. The fever is still going to go away. You just I gave it the nutrition that it needed to fight the infection so that it didn't need to mount that fever any longer.
Okay, this may be a silly question, but what if you did both?
So again, so drugs force the body into submission. So if I stick you in a headlock and then try to get you to swallow a pill, you're going to fight me on the pill, right? Because I got you in a headlock. Mm-hmm. The drug is the headlock. So the drug really does oftentimes supersede what you're trying to do with the nutrition.
It's cutting off the pathways, for sure. It's cutting off the inflammatory pathways that are trying to heal your body.
And it's not a silly question. I mean, I think people would say, in Texas especially, if a little is good, more is better, right? Or maybe that's just the American way, I don't know. But the reality is you don't want to do both. The goal is to recognize the weeds when they're weeds and pluck those suckers. Quick. I recognize a tickle in my throat, bam! Go get it. Congoplex, Dimex, sesame seed oil, coral, something like that, right? She recognized a fever coming on. Where's this coming from? She ain't going to sit around and ask questions too long. She's going to go straight to her medicine chest and pull out the guns and start going at it. Why? Because she knows that, well, number one, who's got time to be sick, you know? Nobody. Who wants to be sick? Nobody. I mean, who likes feeling bad? Nobody. And if you don't know, you don't know. And people never do what they want to do. They just do what they know how to do. So we've marketed so well that Tylenol deficiencies are rampant, apparently, you know, because it grows on the nearest tree in your backyard, right? No, it doesn't, by the way. That was a joke. Ha ha. Just want to make sure we're clear. There's better ways. But good marketing has told us lies. Good marketing says that MSG and artificial related foods and high fructose corn syrup and all that stuff and partially hydrogenated oils are okay. I mean, it's not going to kill you like a skull and crossbones kill you, right? That you need to call the nearest emergency control center and ask what to do when you're exposed. They don't even know that it's killing you. But what it is doing, for sure, is it is slowing down the ability of your body to express vitality and express longevity, and it is killing you slowly.
You know, earlier you said something pretty interesting about nobody wants to be sick, nobody wants to feel bad. I feel like this year has gotten people, you know, it's all about perspective as we started talking
isn't that funny?
Earlier. You know, this year, you know, sometimes there's like, it's 2020, what's coming next? It's funny because you'll see the memes, and a lot of people will deal with that stuff. Memes, it's like, okay, who had the
Right.
killer bees and hornets for August? Okay, who had
Or double hurricane.
Yeah, the double hurricane. The water in Brazoria County had brain-eating amoebas in it. It's like, what else is going to happen? So you're kind of used to going from, okay, I'm sick. Yeah, it's just 2020. It's almost like a perspective thing that you have to switch and not get used to that being your lifestyle. Like, well, it's just another thing. I'm just sick.
Yeah,
That's what it
Well,
is.
the body's
call it a
always
victim.
trying to do that, though, right?
Yeah.
The body's always trying to fight off infections. This is a daily occurrence. This is not anything new. 2020 is not, it's not a new first year that we're fighting off infections. Our bodies are always doing that. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're always fighting off the diseases, the viruses, the bacteria, the pathogens that come our way, and it's a natural part of our process, and that's why our lymphatic system is there in the first place. It's there to fight off those natural pathogens. They are, when we talk about toxins in the environment, that's just a natural toxin. So even if we could get rid of all the chemical toxins, the man-made toxins, we still have things to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's never going to go away. So the question is, how can you assist the body? How can I assist this body to perform better, to respond better, to immediately respond instead of letting the infection get out of control?
So if I understand correctly, I guess one way we are assisting the body right now is by detoxing. How does the detox and the lymphatic, does it work together?
Absolutely. So you're deburdening the body. So the cleaner the system is, the faster it goes away. When my kids were little, when my son was probably like 10, he's like 21 now. I took him to the doctor one time, and it was so frustrating, right? Because at the time I had 5 kids. They were all under the age of 10. Okay,
It's a lot.
When you have 5
I got
kids,
3 under
okay,
7, and it's
the doctor's like,
I love
I
'em.
was like, could you just get them all well at the same time? Like, why do we have to like always have one of these kids be sick, right?
Take
Like,
turns,
could we
yeah.
just have them all well? And then what would happen with this 10-year-old, right, is that he would be better by the time the doctor appointment happened. Right? So you're just like,
yeah.
oh, like this kid was so sick. I thought he was going to die, and now here he is, right? So had I known, I would have had, things to support his body. And so the doctor says, oh, well, 10-year-old boys, a healthy 10-year-old boy, they just fight it off quick, right? And so here's the deal. If you were a healthy young person, you would fight it off quicker. So the more burdens we put in the body, the easier it is to fight off the infections. The more we deburden the body, so those fat-soluble toxins that Dr. Chapa was talking about, those, when toxins enter the body and the body can't get rid of it, it wraps it up in fat and stores it. And now it's stuck. And so if we can deburden the body and keep those fat-soluble toxins moving out, then we have a game to play. Our system is cleaner. So when we fight the next infection, we're more likely to get through it faster.
Not only that, I mean, at this point, when the body when it traps those fat toxins in those fat cells and those infections in those fat cells, and it's been in there a long time, well, now we've got a device that is adjunctive to what we're doing with nutritional saturation, vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, and our sequential programs to detox and cleanse and overhaul the systems. The Zerona Z6 has the ability to go in there and disrupt the cell membrane's adipose cell wall. And this natural process allows fat to release toxin, to release triglycerides, and to release cholesterols. And it speeds up the body's ability to now clean up, because you have now a deburdened liver, a deburdened spleen, a more open and free exit strategy. Your body, when processes those toxins, guess what happens? You pee it out, poop it out, sweat it out, breathe it out. And the Z6 allows us to do that. So the excretion of those cells continues for up to 7 days throughout the process. And that's why we're seeing we're very excited about having now, technology behind us, not just our cool chemistry that is never going to go away.
So if somebody hasn't heard of the Zerona Z6, what is it? What is it?
It's a FDA-approved fat loss laser, right? So it is designed to open pores in the cells of only your fat cells of only your fat cells, and it opens those pores up to allow the triglycerides, the toxins to leak out of those cells. So you have to, as it leaks out, you have to have a cleanup mechanism. That's why we're putting it in here with the lymphatic system, because your lymphatic system is the cleanup crew that says, hey, we're going to release these toxins. Now we're going to escort them out, right? I don't need to circulate. I need
watch
to
this.
move out.
We have a problem in America. Fat is always the public enemy number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fat in
is
the food.
bad. Well, fat is
Just being fat.
being fat, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, fat in the food, being fat. I mean, hate the way I look in the mirror, whatever it is, right? Fat is always the enemy. But let me just quickly just run through a couple things that people might not realize about how cool fat is. So number one, I mean, if you were exposed to a toxin and your body had a place because it couldn't deal with it to store it to protect you, would you curse that?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
I'd be grateful.
Well, guess what? Your fat cells do that.
So it's helping you in a way.
It's helping you, right?
That's one of the first things you have to discuss with somebody who's overweight, is that those fat cells are designed to protect them.
I feel
and they
better
don't
now,
want it.
guys. Keep going, Dr.
That's
Chapa.
right.
What else
See,
you got?
I knew you'd be happy about
Yeah.
that. So, no, man.
But it's a form of protection in
for-
assuming there's a toxic level. It's going to protect you now because the body expects you to do better later.
Mm-hmm.
In America, we don't. We're like, oh, the fat cells, think about it. They're designed for, if there was a famine, I've got to protect you, Guardy. I got to give you some extra weight. So think about it. Every winter, there was basically a famine. We don't have that anymore.
That's right.
We don't have that anymore. So so that mechanism that was designed to protect us through winter, through those down times, through the dust storm that takes our crops away, is now trying to protect us as we keep throwing more.
I mean, not to
Food
go
into the
too
deal.
far off the rails, because. But have you ever thought about in the Bible where Isaac's brother gave up his birthright for food, and we all laugh at that in the scriptures, right? And we say, "What a moron! Like, who would do that?" And we start judging, right? Because that's what we do. We're real good at passing judgment.
Hindsight, yeah.
Yeah, we got the 20/20
I wouldn't have
philosophy.
done that. I wouldn't have ate the
done that.
apple.
Of
yeah.
course I wouldn't.
Of course not. But here's the reality. I mean, he went out, and the reason I know this has to be true is because when his brother came in with the painted fur his mom stuck on his arms, and his dad said, "How did you find the food so fast?" "The Lord your God provided." Just straight up lied, right? And called God into the conversation. I don't know if that's a good idea. I wouldn't do it. But his brother said his brother was out there for who knows how long, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, hunting, gathering, living off the land and berries and berries and anything he could find, if he could find. He was probably desperate to get a locust. And so when he got back, I mean, they've got TV shows where people go on desert islands, and some of them make it 20 days, and some people make it 40 days, and some people make it 80 days and 90 days. But they are all famished, living alone, trying to forage their own food on these islands, not really knowing, right? And your body is tapping into those fat cells. So your fat cells regulate your metabolism, and your fat cells support your immune system. Your fat cells promote hormones and proteins. They assist the liver. They assist your muscles. And so what the Z6 does is it gives permission to the fat cells to function normally, and to say, it's okay, fat cell, to release that toxin. We've got you covered with the Living Well Clinical Nutrition Program's detox systems.
Does the toxins in the fat cells make it harder to lose that fat has toxic?
Absolutely, right? They swell up 7 times the size of normal. So they're designed to give you a buffer mechanism. So they're giving you that buffer, and now how do we get it to change? When we're never up against the wall like they might have been. And so it allows the body to deburden those fat cells, open them up, release the toxins so that we can move on. So that it's just another level of cleanup that we can do now that we couldn't do
even 3 months ago. I mean, yeah. So the corona has sparked creativity in living well, and we have now went from corona to Zerona. And
Corona to Zoom to Zerona.
And so
there's a rap there.
There is a rap there, and I bet you, sir, could create it. And but man, I just want to encourage everybody. Like when it comes to health, when it comes to wellness and vitality, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center wants to be a resource for you, your family, your loved ones, anybody that that you care about. They need the education that we teach. They need the information that we share with our patients day in and day out. We do one-on-one nutritional coaching. We do chiropractic services. We have pretty much anything that doesn't involve drugs or surgery. Our detox programs are absolutely positively what people know us for, and what ultimately what we want people to know us for is that we care about them and we love them and we're excited to help them on their wellness journey. We believe in getting sick people well without drugs and without surgery, and we know that's why God put us here, to be a support in a world that is really lost and overwhelmed and confused with when it comes to what to do when they've got this or what to do when disease really does strike. Because when you get the phone call and there's a major diagnosis on the other end of the line, that can be a patient knockout. That can drop them to their knees. That could they can throw their hands up in the air and quit. And some people are fighters and some people aren't, but we want to help those people wherever they are, because they might just need some education to bounce some ideas, fresh ideas around that they may not have heard before. And so we are up on it with regards to science and how to move people through lifestyle, through diet, through detox, through supplement interventions, minerals, vitamins, essential fatty acids, glandular repair, sequential immune upregulation. I know that sounds like a lot, guys. This is just like old hat for us. Jennifer and I were talking on Friday last week about miracles. People don't see miracles in life today. We are so blessed. We see normal miracles every day. When you can control a fever with nutrients, that's a miracle in today's world. When you can knock out a 24-hour bug in 6 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, that's a miracle. Whenever you can take somebody that's got, covered head to toe in psoriasis or eczema, and you can knock that down 80% or a complete remission over the work and therapies of education and things that they can do and give them the power to heal themselves, that's a miracle. And God has been so good to show us how important it is to note those miracles. We see miracles every day in our office. We want to help as many people get in line to take the bull by the horns. Like oftentimes your miracle is just waiting for you to say yes. And we want to give you all the right education so that you can say yes to the right education and make the lifestyle changes and recognize what you had been doing caused your issue and your disease and your ailment. But no longer does it have to be. You can change. And at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, guys, I can go on and on about miracle after miracle after miracle, and we don't take it for granted. We're blessed. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt where our help comes from. We know it's Jesus. We know he's the great physician. We know, too, he gave us a brain, and he expects us to use it. Hallelujah. And I want you guys to know, as we do these classes, take advantage of them. I mean, because we do study hard. We bring you guys our very best, and we want you guys to come in tonight, whether Zoom or live, and just be ready to receive and ask some hard questions. And let's get after it. Let's get you better. Let's get your family better. And visit us at justlivewell.com, 281-554-8600. 6:30 is the kickoff for the class. And again, it is in person, or and you can sign up on Facebook, or you can do the Zoom link program. And we'll be doing Life After Detox. So it's going to be deeper, more exciting stuff. We got some things to share with y'all tonight that I think y'all will be excited about. And we're going to be doing the 20-minute Z6 challenge. So we'll be raffling off some of those as an experience. And for those that are in attendance, we'll get a free small bottle of AF Beta food. And we are just glad to be of service to all of you guys. We love y'all very much. We are thankful for the show, Gardy and KHE Radio, and we just ask you guys to share the message. We ask you guys to let people know that there is hope, that nutrition can change their life. It is the fundamental backbone to all life. So all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition drives it. We want you guys to drive your car well. Don't put junk in your gas tank and expect it to run. Let's put in the right fuel. Let's give it the right ample adult time frame, and let's turn your health around for the positive. God bless you guys.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. Dr. Chapa and Jennifer with you in studio today. Next week when we come back, the detox will be done, and we'll be talking about life after detox. This is Bright Work, Hope and Changing. All right, Facebook, y'all be good. Social media, Twitter, YouTube, we're live everywhere. Periscope, or maybe you listen to this on a podcast platform.